you're excused, 'cause you're always late, overweight, totally rude, honey.
This computer.
Hey, recording in progress. Boom.
Welcome to episode 14 of Creatively Unworthy Podcast. I'm Rebecca,
Ray,
and this is
I'm Christin.
and I'm Larry Chambers.
Whoop, whoop.
Yay.
And what is this, our 13th?
And you
14.
are, wait a minute.
14th?
Rebecca,
Yeah.
who are you? You didn't say who you were.
yeah.
Oh,
I said I was.
did. She started.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's Rebecca. I'm Christin. And
Who
that's
am
it.
I? That's the question. Who are we as a people? That's what our topic should be.
That's a great question.
Who are we? Yeah.
That's a great question for number 14. How about we start off? Did anyone have any moments of unworthiness this week?
Oh yeah.
And how did you combat them or overcome them or get through them or embrace them?
Well, I had kind of a weird week where I was kind of creative in the last couple days. Like I did a lot of writing and a lot of drawing, but like throughout the whole week, I was like, I don't know. I was trying to think of like, do I want to do this if it makes me so anxious, or why am I doing this? What do I want to do? What am I trying to accomplish? What am I trying to write? If I write this, what am I trying to say to the world? What if it motivates people to like, I don't know, just, like all the creatively unworthy thoughts. And then I just kind of, I don't know. I came to the conclusion that if I'm good at something, then I can just do it and enjoy it, and not every single thing that I make that's creative has to be posted online or has to be shown to other people. Like if I want to, I could just draw a picture right now and it doesn't have to like be the next Mona Lisa or anything.
I mean, you
I
can
could
enjoy
just-
it.
Yeah.
You can enjoy it for yourself.
Yeah. And if I really like it, I could be like, oh hey, look, I drew this. It doesn't have to be like, okay, like if I draw this, then since I said I'm doing comics now it's going to be an entire strip, it's going to be an entire series, and this is going to go online, and if it doesn't make $1 million, then I'm a failure. It's like if I just erased all that and was just like, I'm just going to do something today, and that was a lot easier. Maybe something good will come out of that, because I can't make myself make a Mona Lisa. That's not going to happen. But I could
Well,
just...
you might if you're not
Yeah.
trying to. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to the flow with the flow and just kind of whatever happens, But
That's huge. That's
I will-
great that you talked yourself through that. I had a similar thing, and the person I was collaborating with sent me a text and said, make sure to have fun. Have fun with it. Don't stress yourself out. Then you won't want to do it anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, duh. Thank you for realizing that, random person.
Yeah.
Right.
You
It was
still talk
awesome.
yourself out of it, and then
Yes.
where will you be after that?
Writer's block, the
Well,
drawer's
this-
block.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the universe is a paradox. And what I mean by that is whatever that you're trying to run towards or get keeps moving further and further away. For example, if you really need a loan, it's just almost impossible for you to get a loan. If you're going to try to get a loan, the people smell it, the banker smells. But when you don't need a loan, people throw money at you.
Same with dating.
Huh? Same with
Same
dating.
with dating.
Yeah.
Exactly the same with dating. It's exactly the same. Well, I found this. The listeners don't know this, but we had a kind of a celebration get together at Rebecca's house and her father's house, and it's beautiful, on the water, amazing place.
Gorgeous.
And gorgeous. And we met her fiance, and he's a cool guy. And we met her brother, and her brother's I think he's going to end up richer than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even know.
I
how-
could believe that so much.
But he's like,
He doesn't believe it, but he's so
No,
smart.
doesn't
and
matter.
So
doesn't matter.
creative in weird ways.
It doesn't matter. I can just tell there's something about him that's going to be successful. Anyway, and Rebecca's dad and her mom, and it was really fun, just to hang out with everybody. And I came
I'm
back.
glad you guys had a good time.
Oh, we had a great time. I had a great time. And I came back really feeling great. I came back feeling, I got to see Christin, and she looked so cool, her and her husband, and she was dressed.
You brought your lute or the ukulele.
Yeah, she was.
An emergency, musical emergency.
Yeah, she's
perfect.
Cool. And so I came back, and then I wanted to replicate that feeling that I had when it was about 2 podcasts ago when I explained, the breakdown that I had with my son Logan, and how I was able to see that I created the whole situation. The whole thing was created by me. He never asked me to move here. He never asked me to be his new best friend. He never asked me to be hanging out at his house, fixing his truck and doing all these things. And what I had done was I had created a fantasy that I was going to in a way I thought like Christin would be like, Logan would be like Christin. If I told Christin I was gonna, if I moved close to her and I would be over every day talking, how's it going, having some food, just sharing a beer. Logan isn't like that. Logan doesn't want he's a guy, and he's trying to make it on his own. And I literally had to let go of my expectations and my fantasy. But I got to tell you, that fantasy keeps crawling back. Like, well, if he doesn't, he must not like me. And it's not true. I just got a text with a few minutes ago, it said, what are you doing on the 4th? So it's
really?
all made up. It's made up.
That's so cool.
If I don't get an immediate response. Now, here's the other thing. So I like this area, and I don't like it. I like it because of the weather and the close proximity to Logan and all that stuff. And but I don't know anybody here, and I keep saying that. And if I keep saying that, I probably won't know anybody. But I thought, I know what I'll do. I will apply. I go online, and I looked, and I found there was a art history job available for somebody with, and I had all the qualifications. I got a master's degree. I know art history. I'm an artist. I've sold art. All of these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then I went online and I filled out. You should see the forms that you have to fill out. And then you have to get 3 people that know you that would say things. And I just go, like, I would, well, I feel like I gotta go, ask Dad to see if I can. I'd have to ask Christin, would you sponsor me or say a good thing, and then I think, okay, well, I'll come back to it. There's no way I can find the site where it's at, or the password. Forget the password or any of that. I can't even remember what the hell it was or where it is on my computer. And I think, like, well,
honestly, you should just call them, because like
No.
you could tell them, I'm Larry Schlambers, I do all this cool stuff.
That's not my point. My point is, I don't belong as an art teacher at a university. First of all, that's another fantasy. That's another fantasy that I've created, that, they'll just accept me because I've painted a few paintings and I'm creative, and they'll just, God, we finally got Larry. Now we've got our star who's going to speak to us about, it's also about Asian art. I know nothing about Asian art, but I think I know everything about Asian art. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some Asian art, but I'm not an expert in it. But it's all part of this fantasy. And this is one of the things that I fight with myself. What I'm good at is not having a boss, writing my own material, finding my own publishers, and making my own money. I haven't worked for anybody since I was in the Army 50 years ago. I don't work for people. But my fantasy is, well, now that I'm older, they would really want me at the, and they probably should. I could probably really help some kids, but I wouldn't follow the rules, and I wouldn't know,
You'd be a fantastic professor, just for that reason, like Robin Williams in that one movie.
Well, but
to be fair, they kind of want farmers as professors, because they want you to say the same thing over and over again for like 6 hours a day, and
they want
I can't see you being in love with that, especially since they kind of tell you what to say. You would probably be very aggravated and go against
Depending
the
on the
grain.
school. Depending on the school, I think you're
I
right.
was aggravated just trying to get online there with all, all the stuff that they wanted me to provide. Actually, I'm overqualified. I've got too much stuff.
You
And
do. I can think
Yeah.
of 10 people off the top of my head that would recommend you
Oh yeah, no, that's
for
fine.
this.
But so that, and then what will happen is if I'm not careful, that could send me into the famous shame trance. I'm not good enough and I'm unworthy. No, I can't even get a stupid job at a university. Well, that's not exactly a stupid job, but I will turn that into something that's not, that it isn't. And it kind of relates back to the thing about Logan. I have to be the star, which is another problem when I'm with Logan. Logan's the star of his group, but when I show up, I'm sorry, I got better stories. I don't mean to,
You have different stories.
I've got different stories, and they're also better stories. They're more
He
exciting.
sounds a lot like your son.
No, I
He
mean,
has
they're
to be the
different
star,
stories.
but when
They're
I
a
show up,
lot-
I'm the star.
They're a lot more similar than they realize.
I know.
It sounds definitely like a father-son
Mhm.
conversation.
They
And
both got good stories. It's just the crowd that they're in. Logan's the man in his crowd.
He's the
and,
man.
You're
he's the man.
the man in your crowd. You've just recreated your crowd so many times. Right now, you don't
I've
know
lost
where
the
your
crowd.
crowd is.
You're my crowd. This is the crowd right now.
Yay!
Yeah.
The-
Which is
part
why
of-
it's such a great avenue for talking out sounding board
Well,
things in your mind.
this is a part of this creativity unworthiness thing. Is a lot of us, in order to make up, and a lot of us we became the family hero, so, or in that sense, what I mean is the family star, or the guy that gets the football touchdowns. I've always been a star. I haven't been the highest star, but I've been a star. I've always played first string on football or in basketball and track, and went to college and did all these things, but I didn't ever go to the Olympics. So in other words, unless I made it all the way to the Olympics, and then all the crowd said, "Oh my God, where have you been hiding?" Even though you're a little older now, you've rejoined the Olympics and you can actually win the pentathlon or the
They had a painting Olympics. You would win.
painting Olympics,
Yeah.
or the book writing Olympics.
Or you'd have to paint as
Book
many
writing.
paintings as you could before.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the center court's Larry Chambers on
Yeah.
blue paint with the white.
He's only got 4 colors, folks.
Only
4
four
colors.
4 colors. We've never seen anything like this.
He's
Oh my
used
God! It's only been
10.
4 minutes,
Crowd.
and he's already made
used
half of
10
that.
colors.
And then they have one of those
The
slow
canvas is
motion
suspect.
Oh, it was painting behind me.
I would go to that Olympics. That sounds fun.
Actually, that does sound
Yeah,
cool.
That
we
sounds
need like
great.
a
Painting
speed paint,
Olympics.
but
Riding
Yeah.
Olympics, and then we would have there would be singing and
Yeah.
gymnastics, there'd be all kinds of things. We could have Circus Soleil.
Fantastic. That's who you should work for, the Olympics.
Or
yeah,
Circus Soleil.
we should make our own Olympics. The
Yeah.
Art Olympics.
Artistic Olympics.
Yeah, it's called Special Olympics.
Well, they already have that.
I know.
It's
We have a
different.
special. This would be the special.
The extra
special.
special.
Extra special. The Unworthy Olympics podcast.
God. Yeah, we don't even get a bus.
The
have to
unathletic
walk.
Olympics.
We
We have
walk.
to walk.
We have to walk.
That's how unspecial we are. We have to
we have to
walk.
walk to
'Cause we
Tokyo.
don't deserve a bus.
Oh, actually, Kristen, you can run at the Olympics. Now, they don't let you run inside the stadium, but I've been to them and I can run around on the outside, no problem.
We have a picture of Dad and I at the Olympics.
You're
So
at the Olympics.
remember, I have been to the Olympics.
You have been.
I was
That's
tiny,
cool.
teeny, on your
The elder
shoulders,
hands up.
and I was shirtless. Hey-o.
Yeah.
Kristen, shirtless at
I was
that
only
age,
like
you
3.
little hussy.
It was hot.
Yeah, she was only 4.
Oh my God, only 4 and already?
I mean,
Yeah.
say,
Kristen, not my America.
it was the excitement of
I'm
the.
all America shirt today, so I have to be very outraged at your behavior, Kristen. I'm sorry.
No, I had a shirt on. I was just kidding.
Okay.
You know how
That's
kids
okay.
wear that
It's
when
a-
they're little.
when I was a little kid, I didn't start wearing stop taking off my shirt till I was like 6. I remember turning 7 and they're like, "You're gonna have to keep your shirt on," and I'm like, "Why? But the boys don't have to."
Yeah. See, you were
Yeah.
creative
Yeah.
before you even realized. You were thinking outside the woman box.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me not to put my shirt on.
Now I
Okay.
want to wear a shirt because.
All right, we got to
Point.
be real.
Yeah.
Point is,
Point it. There you go.
yes, you
Yeah,
could
the
be,
point.
you could work for the Olympics.
Or
You
I
could
could
start-
That's the point.
or I could just relax and
You have a hard time with that. Dad has the hardest time relaxing in the whole world. He's very chill, but don't get me wrong, he's very chill. But you tell him to just go do something you like to do. Go enjoy yourself. Relax. Don't worry about it. And it's like, wait, what? If I'm not, slave driving myself, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't know where that comes from. It's very interesting. I'm the same
Do
way.
you feel like you're like guilty if you're not always doing something?
That's a good question. I feel like that's a good question. I don't feel
Yes,
necessarily
he does.
guilty.
From the one that absorbs the calls about it, yes, you do. You don't know what to do with yourself if you're not working. You're not used to not having to do something for someone.
Well, I'm always, like I'll think, oh my God, if I don't get this job, I'm going to run out of money, and I've just sent money off to Asia to help the family over there, and I'm doing, got everything paid for and stuff. And then I think, oh my God, and I realize, wait, I get checks every month. I don't really need to, I literally could just sit here like this and do nothing and make as much money as some people make their whole life, but
because you've already done the work.
Pressing. There's something that's constantly, eating at me to be the best at something, or even this book, when I'm working on it, I disappear. I have so much
Which
fun.
book? Which one?
I'm working on this one. It's called To Thy Own Self Be True. And it's a autobiographical thing. And you're in it. I've got I was going to ask you because I've got all of the rehab stuff typed out, but it's all great.
That's a fun mention in a book, Kristen.
Shame.
How you want to be remembered.
The book is also about shame and about being shamed, and how shame gets transferred down to your children. So it makes perfect sense that Kristen would have an addictive personality and be a lot like me. Somehow, Logan does it in a different way, but he's the same. He's got the same drive and motivation. We're driven.
Doesn't communicate the same way as us.
Yeah, he doesn't communicate, but
he's got the shame. It's in there. It's angry.
His is really angry. So there's this drive.
I haven't met him, but all the stuff that I've heard about.
Yeah,
it's very dynamic.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
You won't want to meet him. You hear all these things.
Logan is one of my favorite people on the planet.
You met him, you go, this guy's the coolest guy I've ever met.
Cute.
As long as he's in a good mood, it's a good time, happy time.
Yeah, but don't get him past 10 o'clock at night if he's got to work the next day.
Well, he'll just pass out wherever he is. I have stacked more like marshmallows on his head at campsites than I can remember. Beer cans. He'll pass out. He passed out at a family reunion at like 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in a camping chair. And so I started stacking stuff on it, and then people
Dr. Evil.
That's
You're so evil.
It was so funny.
I hope he doesn't watch these. All we do is criticize him and talk about how you do that when he's asleep.
Hey, he didn't come on the podcast. That's what you get. Tell your brother.
Yeah, Devin. He doesn't watch these.
I tried.
You ever watch this, Devin? We're gonna start talking about you.
When they're ready,
they will come.
We'll be ready. When they're ready, we'll be ready. We wouldn't want to be pressured. So, we won't pressure anyone, but come on. Your life.
Well, I'm going to pressure him.
We'll bring some more fun to your life.
I feel like this podcast is kind of like the Flight of the Conchords. And I want to go, what's our fan base right now? Well, we've got 2 fans. Well,
2 fans? That's incredible. Not including us.
No,
hi, Mom. Shout out.
It's including you too. I'm not one of the fans. I really don't like the podcast.
Who's a fan?
My mom. She likes our podcast.
Your buff?
Yeah. It's the sweetest thing in the whole world. I love you, Mom, and I like how you're watching it. Hi, if you see me. Wait, I have to look at the camera.
Your mom is
awesome. Your mom said something really insightful too.
By the way.
The other day.
Yeah, she's cool.
What it was.
What did she say?
Good. Try to think of it. But yeah, our fan base is, we're up to 4 people now.
Yay.
I say by our 20th episode, then people really start to know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we keep making them eventually.
Hey,
But
I
even
think
if not, I mean, it's just for us.
it's for us. Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Ultimately, this is our safe space to talk
And you have
about
to
the feelings
really
of unworthiness
look
while
at,
we're trying to live creatively.
yeah, and you have to look out, when you look at anybody that started anything, there's just them usually for a long time. It's just a few people,
Yeah.
and then slowly, their popularity, whatever it is, grows, and people talk, and then it goes out like that. So who knows?
Well, I had an experience of unworthiness this week.
Oh, good. Tell us.
Yeah.
So
Your turn, Kristen. Dang it. We all
Tell us,
shared
oh
some.
unworthy daughter.
so I've been illustrating for a children's book I'm trying to finish. And
Also, sorry not to interrupt, but you've been sending me pictures of that. Very nice, by the way. Very pretty.
dopamine hit. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, come on, keep going. Keep going.
Sorry.
So this is part of it, Dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
The last couple days, I've just been running on empty. Plus, I got my shot, and so I was like, oh, I couldn't lift my arm, and I was just like, and I started my period, so it was like, oh my god,
Is that the COVID shot too?
Yeah,
that's a killer. That hits you really hard.
Right? And my body decides to like do its thing at the same time as this thing is doing its thing, and I'm like, I am completely not useful to anyone right now. I feel like a piece of crap. I feel I'm not having children. Like, do I still have, like, I want children, but do I want children? And how will do I have till? And then I just started spiraling, and I was like, oh my God, like, if I'm not having babies, then I'm not doing my job as a woman. And I was like, what, Kristen? That's not true.
Where did that come into your head?
Well, silent like pressures from family, other family. It's just like, oh, I wish I was a grandma by now. Like, I guess
my God.
And I'm just like,
only have kids if you want kids, if you're ready for them, because then they'll feel like unwanted and unhappy.
And I don't even know why I'm telling you about that part. That wasn't even the part.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
But that's important. That's what came up when you're thinking about it. I mean, like, if it was affecting you.
Yeah. So I'm like, I can't draw because I can't lift my arms. I can barely sit up because my stomach hurts. And I'm not generating income right now. And that's a big thing. Like, as a woman, like, you either stay home and make the house, a home, or you go to work. And if you're not going to work,
what the hell are you doing?
What can I do with no kids, like in our dog, anyway, so I'm like, well, I guess I'll send this, progress drawing to the 2 investors that I have and see what they think, and hopefully it won't suck. And before I sent it, I had all this anxiety, and I was like, this sucks, and I walked away, and I came back in the room, and I looked at it again, and I'm like, nope, those colors, it's gonna be too yellow or whatever it is. And so as soon as I clicked send, then I instantly saw what I needed to do to fix it. Of course, after I clicked send. And I'm like, Kristen, of course, you are so crazy that your brain does not start working until the pressure is truly on, after you've already sent the email. So then I quickly made the notes that I saw that I could fix it, and then sent that right after. And I was like, sorry, I sent you the wrong one. Oops, my bad. But the whole time I'm just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Can I really illustrate an awesome children's book? Like, come on. I thought I could, but this is really hard, especially if I want it to look the way I see it in my brain.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to do this.
Because I could slap some crap together, like most people. Oh, here's like a 1 color background. Here's 1 color object. And here's some words. Done. But that's not me. Even for example, what I'm wearing today, with this background and that background, it's like, there's details
you care
in
about
there.
Color and art in detail, and you want it to be what you're seeing in your head, and that's like,
I want it to be the
no,
best.
I really relate to that. That's really frustrating. 'Cause it's
Why do
like
you want to be the best?
you
Where
want
does
to
it come from?
copy it, you know?
Well, if I'm going to do something before I die, I want it to be as cool as like, I don't know, because it hasn't been done yet, so I can't compare it to anything. Disneyland.
You want to be
Yeah.
like a star, the hero, like a star.
Of course, I want to be like the lady that just found out she could sing when she was 50.
Hmm.
That like blew people away, but
Yeah.
with my art.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you
then
actually-
later my singing,
You could also
Yeah.
be that lady that turns 50.
Your singing is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
It's just no one is safe, is the point I'm getting at.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
There's
No
no
one
way
is
out of. There is no way
Yeah.
out of this. This is it.
Yeah.
This is all you got right here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade how I think with a banker, because that sounds boring as heck. Why would I want to? That just sounds, what's the point? Like you just handle other people's money all day long? That sounds so purposeless.
Did you
Yeah.
have fun painting that?
Also, it would make you so envious because you're like,
I do
look
have
at this $64,000 bank account and mine over here.
It's like
Okay.
$64.32.
Yeah. So $64 bank account.
Thank God I
noticed-
worked so much before the pandemic. Whew.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
I've noticed though, and this kind of relates back to our last podcast, but when I hit the home run and I got the book deal, I remember getting this big check. It was for $200,000 to ghostwrite a book. And I can remember getting it and feeling so happy for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Then I realized I have to now write this guy's freaking book. I don't even like this. What am I doing? What am I doing? But by then,
What have I done?
the money had gone into paying this bill and that, and it just disappeared. And I was left with nothing. And yet here I got almost $250,000. And it didn't mean anything. It was, so what?
Yeah.
I had to now, I was left with the work. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
so even when you get something, or
That's why I'm hoping to finish it before I get that something, so I could just like take a true breath and
Well, the
not
true-
have added like,
the true
here,
breath-
publisher, here it is, it's ready.
the true thing is enjoying the process of doing it. I enjoy the process of, I actually like stretching the canvas or painting over one of my old paintings and
I
pissing you
know
off.
you do.
I
No.
enjoy prepping for a painting I'm going to do. And it's kind of like getting the money in. Oh, now what do I got to finish it? It's like there's certain parts of it that the process that I really love doing.
The parts that produce dopamine and
Yeah, anything that
serotonin.
produces dopamine, always go for the dopamine. It's the
Mhm.
same thing with, the reason why I think so many people are so upset. I saw somebody today that was upset when I did a yoga class and there was a guy in there and they had to tell him to leave and he blew a gasket and he wouldn't, he was left with this rage in the other room. We were already over doing yoga, but he was still left with the feeling. And it's kind of like when you put a lion in a cage, that lion is no longer a lion. It's not a true lion like it is out in the wilderness. Its hierarchy has been the rug's been pulled out from under.
Yeah.
In the jungle, the lion is at the top of the hierarchy. For those of us that are creative, our hierarchy is in the creation of things, is doing that thing that we know that we can do best. And when we, look at not finishing it, not getting paid for it, none of those things create a lot of dopamine. I mean, they do for a minute. The dopamine is created, each step of the way.
You are 100% correct.
Yeah.
I think, because back when I was in high school, that was my only drug, really, is I'd stay up later than I should and I'd draw and I'd paint. And then when I woke up in the morning, I would be pleasantly like surprised and proud, but it was just me. It wasn't like I was taking them to school or
Yeah.
turning them in for
Stayed up
credit
too
or
late. You
something.
still get grounded for that, later on.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I shouldn't have been up past my bedtime, that's for sure. But that's where the dopamine came in. It was the mixture of rush and doing something I wasn't supposed to do
Yeah.
I don't know why I wasn't allowed to stay up, but whatever. That's a
That
different
wasn't
story
me. I've never
altogether.
been
But
allowed.
the thrill of getting caught painting for
Yeah.
some reason was exciting. And when I woke up, I'd see what I created, and that was something tangible that I could look at that I was proud of. And I
Mhm.
guess I carried that with me subconsciously to school in my mind, but I wasn't
You know
like, hey
what?
mom, look what I painted last night.
You know, one way to think about it, and I think this is really true in your case. I think we all have a muse, and people can believe that or not believe it. I don't care
Mhm.
what you think. But your muse doesn't wake up till about 6 in the afternoon.
Oh,
7,
6
and
p.m.
it's up all night. Your muse is a nighttime muse.
It would keep
What
me
is
up till
a
7
muse
a.m. if I
exactly?
let it.
What is a muse? The
Yeah,
question?
what is a
the
muse
peanut gallery?
exactly? I
What
thought
is
it was like a
A muse is a
I-
It could be anything that
well,
inspires
muse is a
you.
mythological figure that the Greeks used to believe that we had a muse for creativity. That creativity wasn't inside of us. That creativity lived inside of this muse, and either you had a good muse or a bad muse, or whatever. Some people had same like they believed there was gods for war or God for other different things, and there was a muse, and it's just something that inspires you. A muse could be a small figurine, could be you could put that in, you could declare that is your muse. A Buddha could be a muse.
Or another human, or
Or
a
another
beautiful human.
Kristen is my
Or hero.
muse in a lot of ways, and
aw.
the thing that a muse will do is give you ideas, inspire you, all of these things that she does. And then Logan's kind of my anti-muse. He's not a muse. He's not a muse.
Uninspires you.
He's not a muse.
Sorry, Logan. We're always beating
can't
up.
help it.
I disagree, because he has been the motivation for most of your actions over the last year. So if that's not
competition.
Oh,
a
there you go.
muse, I don't know what is,
He has been.
in a way.
Yeah.
We give him a hard time, but he's a good kid. He's just angry, and rightfully so. He's just got a lot on his plate.
Yeah,
It's
a lot on his
Logan's
plate.
fine. Point is,
He doesn't think he should be on this podcast a lot because
some
doesn't think he's got any, he's not worthy.
he'll be perfect. He'll be a perfect guest.
Yeah,
We just need all of our families on the podcast.
I know.
It's
Family
like
pod.
Might as
it's
well.
all genetic, right? So we're all like
Yeah.
I'm
in the
anxious to
same
hear
boat.
your dad too on this.
Oh my
Oh yeah, your
God.
dad. I have been thinking about what he said.
Her dad is
He has the coolest stories, man.
an
He's
ophthalmologist.
awesome.
Like, what? I'm not going to bring it up now because I want to save it for when he's on.
Yeah.
But I have not been able to stop thinking about what he was talking about. It's just so radical coming from a doctor as well.
That's the tame stuff he says too. You should hear some of the other stuff he says. He has some pretty wild theories. It's
Yeah.
great.
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
hazing you, Dad. You have I love your crazy theories. Some of them are like, wow.
I'm sure it's
You
a
know,
combination
That
of
anywhere.
humor mixed with facts, but like the
Mhm.
deadpan delivery, I was just like, oh my God, I was not expecting that
Yeah.
from him. He's an eye doctor, for God's sakes. He's
Yeah.
that
I
smart.
think he likes the reaction that people have because they don't think he would be
He
that.
definitely does. He
And
does.
he
Every
likes
single
the
friend I've ever
parent-
had come over, he always tells them some crazy theory, and he always like watches the reaction. And he's like, yeah, that's crazy, huh? Maniacal.
It's like my dad as well.
Really, he's the evil doctor. No, it's our dad. I don't mean it like that. All love, okay?
Hilarious sarcasm, doctor.
And everybody has their, like,
I'm going to turn this light on just because it
Sure
looks
thing.
like I'm getting
Yeah, you're in the dark.
Well, it's getting dark here, but bing.
unfortunately, the other light is on this side of the room, and my room's really long, so this light is coming in here, and then it's darkness right here. But it makes it look like I have no blemishes, which is
You
really
don't.
great because the whole side of my face is all acne right now.
No, it's not.
Yes,
You
it is.
can't say that because I saw you last weekend.
Yeah.
It's not.
I was going to
Uh,
say, it's pretty much
No,
everything's
it
out.
definitely
Amazing
is.
skin.
It's you
Yeah.
can't see it, but it definitely is. Because I'm
This
getting
is
really
my-
close to starting my prayer too, so it's kind of like, I know it's coming on. You can't. I look perfect though. I mean, like,
Yeah, you do.
You
yeah,
are
great.
as close to perfect as they come, my lady.
Close to perfect. I didn't recognize you without your ears, your mouse ears,
Yeah.
when I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got my hair dyed. Do you see it? I got
Oh.
white
I do.
stripes
I like it.
through
Huh.
my whole thing. And it's white underneath. It's brown on top and white underneath.
It's like
Very
superhero hair.
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I'm like, what's her face from the
Storm.
X-Men? Storm? Yes.
I'm like that naturally, but not right now. For some reason, my hair looks amazing, but normally it's like gray streaks
Yeah.
everywhere.
Gray's cool. I know everybody doesn't like it, so they're like, oh, I'm getting older, but it's like, yeah, but like, what if you were like infused with sorceress powers or something, and like, you know,
Mind over matter. That's exactly what it is. Dad. That's why Dad is so
yeah.
powerful.
You're a wizard,
'Cause
Larry.
He's got more gray hair than I do. Damn it.
And I have a muse. By the way, there's a movie called The Muse, starring Sharon
Muse.
Stone, is this muse, and is hilarious. It's hilarious. So watch
It's supposed to
that.
be serious.
Yeah.
No, it's not supposed to be serious. Albert Brooks plays this guy who's a writer, and he's lost his. Everybody keeps telling him, he's lost his edge. He goes, what was my edge? So funny.
So he's on the
And-
quest for a muse.
And he gets this muse, and all of a sudden, she's staying at his house, and Martin Scorsese shows up, and James Cameron shows, all these different guys, asking, what should I do now? So it's all these people that you think have no problem with, coming up with ideas are all,
Human.
herding over there getting, asking her, what do I do next?
Well, a beautiful woman can be many people's muses. You don't even have to know your muse. If they're just someone that brings out something in you that you need to put on paper in some form, that could be a muse too. It's very amusing.
Oh, Kristen, I need
Gosh.
no,
Kind
no.
of unrelated. Watch
Ouch.
Sweet Tooth on Netflix. I just saw it. Absolutely amazing show.
What-
I mean,
what-
if other people's art can be muses, then amazing shows are muses.
Mhm.
Sweet
What's the
Tooth.
show?
It's like a
Sweet
modern day fairy tale about this deer kid who's like in the apocalypse. It's the weirdest thing. It's
What's
so
the name of
creative
it?
and strange.
name of
And
it?
it's Sweet Tooth?
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet.
Yeah, on Netflix. Amazing show.
Sweet
Also, the kid is so cute. He gives
So
me
cute.
baby
I
fever.
scrolled
I need
over it.
him. It's good. I literally could not stop watching it. It was really, really good.
That's great. You
I'm
can't
gonna watch
stop
it.
watching it. It speaks
Yeah.
to you.
Sadly, it
that-
only has one season because
No.
they're like an
Oh my
hour
God.
long each episode.
Oh.
And it leaves on kind of cliffhanger should be illegal. Number one, leaves on a cliffhanger, breaks my goddamn heart. But I can wait, I guess.
The season finale on a cliffhanger. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Did you watch
But it's-
Kristen Dead to Me? My recommendation, Dead to
Dead.
Me?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I
Not
don't,
yet.
where do you find that?
It's on Prime.
Netflix?
No, it's on
Hulu.
Prime, Amazon Prime.
I
Dead to
have
Me.
it- I don't have Amazon Prime.
I also feel like
I
it's
have
on
Hulu
Hulu.
and Netflix.
I
Yeah,
feel like
probably
it's
on
on Hulu.
Yeah.
I'll write that.
It's the girl from Married with Children, the daughter,
Yeah,
the blonde.
that's great.
She's like, "What's Married with Children?" You know what Married with Children is, right?
Wow.
Hard.
Yeah, wow.
That's what all the adults say.
Wait, what?
Married with Children, you know what it is, right? Hard. Ha 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 ha.
Hard,
ha.
Kristen. She's being humorous.
Laborers.
Oh!
I'm funny, Kristen. I'm
Oh!
funny. Wait, was
Knew
it that?
it. That was a good dad joke. No
Yeah.
offense, Dad. You know how they call them dad jokes? I don't know why they call them dad jokes.
Because they're not
But they're
funny.
genius
I'm
jokes.
funny.
Because they're
I
not
just
funny.
made one, Larry. You're supposed to say they're funny. That's the law.
Mm.
They are hilarious. People are just
Shining this light
jealous.
in my
Yeah,
eye.
people
Can't
are just
see.
jealous.
Tell me about it. I've got a whole airplane hanger like staring at me. Why do you think I look so good?
Airplane.
Before we move too much off the other point that we were
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about before, I wanted to say that, like, plate of shrimp, that sounds what you and Larry were talking about. Like,
Plate of shrimp?
plate of shrimp. You never heard that saying? It's like my dad uses it all the time. Maybe it's really old and I'm just like stuck in the 1940s.
How does he use it? It's a
Like,
metaphor.
it's something ironic, something that you've seen before. Like, So you walk outside and you see a sign, and then you're like, oh, I was just thinking of shrimp, and I just see a billboard advertising for.
Ah, yes. Okay, I get
and
it. That happens to me all the
I
time.
watched a Jordan Peterson video where they were talking about how you graduate from college and you're like top of the world one day, and then next day you're surf at Starbucks. And it was like, it wasn't graduating, it was the getting there. It was the, like the whole
Process.
goal, the whole process. Yeah.
That's
I
it.
thought that was really interesting because it's like, yeah, 100%. Like after you got that paycheck, you were top of the world, but then it's like now that goal's complete and there's all this that you're looking
And
at.
what was left is the work.
Yeah.
It's what Kristen is doing up front, and she doesn't like it, and that's what we have to do. That's the thing of being creative. First of all, it's almost impossible to make a living being creative, and if you do make a living, it's hard. You have to work your butt off, and lots of
Yeah.
times nobody appreciates it. They don't understand it, and they don't know art when they see it. A lot of people think art is just for decoration. They'll argue
Yeah.
about it. Of course it's for decoration.
And even
Whereas,
on the West, we have a problem with people. Like, have you heard of like anime and manga and stuff like that? Like, it's real popular in Japan, but everybody pirates it over here, so nobody pays for it. So, like, really good animated shows will just go, never get another season renewal because nobody's buying it. They're just all stealing it because they just
Mm.
want to see the next thing. So,
Mm.
all the time and the art and the story somebody put into that, like, genuinely thinking about it, wasted because,
wow.
you're just
It's
gonna-
hard out there for an artist
Part
in this
of
day and age. I tell you,
living in
in any
America,
age.
living in America is the best place in the world to be an artist because we have laws that prohibit that, and that's one of the great things is not only democracy.
But
and
the
freedom,
West is the
Really?
biggest
Laws
stealer
are-
of overseas.
Really hard to enforce those
content.
laws.
Yeah.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, when
Depending
I
on
do a
how
video,
successful you are.
and if I put a Rolling Stone song on a video, I will get a thing pop up and go, take this song.
That's true. They're really
Oh,
fast
yeah.
at like copy claiming. Kristen, you said a permission straight out of the horse's mouth. I could use your song.
Mhm.
It's copy claimed the first couple podcasts that I put it up. I was like, but I
I
know
need to contact
Kristen.
YouTube and tell them it's okay.
And you guys are young and you haven't lived through
Not that young.
like somebody stealing something from you and then going through the legal system.
Oh.
I mean, you hear about this with movies or screenplays, and people will make a lot of money. Like the best thing can happen for me is somebody rip off a screenplay that I've written.
Mhm.
As long as
Really?
I filed it with oh yeah, I will make a lot of
Legal
money.
fees? Whew.
Illegal because they have to pay if you can prove. Really? So anybody afraid of getting your work stolen out there? It could be the
Well,
best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Right.
Sue them. Sue
Well,
their
the thing
pants
of
off.
it is, see, if a big studio is making a movie and you find out that you were the writer of that and it was stolen, oh my God, and it would we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. It could be in jeopardy.
Put all
So
your stuff
there's-
out there and don't say if it's copyrighted or not. Wait, throw out the
you gotta
bait.
get a copy. No,
Evil. Evil.
the minute,
Hey.
by the way, people don't understand copyright laws, but the minute that you write anything on a piece of paper, it's copyright. That's yours.
Really?
Email it to
You don't
yourself.
you don't have to get
Email it to
certified or
yourself.
anything?
You don't even have to email it.
You
to you.
could, as
You could. It's a
ultimate
way-
protection, but emailing or mailing it to yourself.
Yeah, I needed some proof that you came up with that idea. That was your original idea.
Really?
Now, what you do in a screenplay is you register with the Screenwriters Guild,
Excuse me real quick.
and that costs you like $50 or something to do it. Or like Kristen said, you can email the
Oh.
script back to
Email it to
yourself.
yourself.
Now
It's
you've got it
timestamped.
timestamped.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. It's
And what I notice about
If
people
you
can't
who
tamper
Google
with that.
Docs, it's all time stamped.
I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. Sorry guys. Otherwise I'm gonna cough
Well,
it
you know
up.
what? We've got an hour in, so we might
Yeah. We
Oh,
can wrap
okay.
it up.
wrap.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we covered some great
We
stuff
covered
here.
some ground, and I want to
we-
get back to writing. I still got.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
I want to get
All
back.
right.
Actually,
Well,
my sister-in-law is having a baby, so I was gonna sew her a Mobium. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm actually excited for it. I know, isn't that so cute?
oh my God, you're
it's
perfect
it's
for that.
actually
Your
gonna be
little-
my baby. I'm gonna steal it because babies are cute.
course.
I don't want to take care of it, so I'll return it. When it needs feeding, changing things.
Of
The rest
course.
of the time, stolen.
Yes. Well done. You're a good auntie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys, thank you. That was fun today.
That was great.
And
And thank you for the mic, Dad. Hopefully it sounds better. Oh,
Oh,
sounds so much better.
shit.
and now it's broken.
And it's bigger.
And I broke it.
Oh,
Hopefully it still works next week.
no, it's working.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
You're excused, 'cause you're always late, overweight, and totally